properties the state and the county have in mind, so we can have it as a priority list also keeping within the master plan percentages, so that we are not over preserving and basing the tax base is only on a few of the residents. I'm not saying I'm not negating anything for farmers or bringing and stuff like that, but if you're running a municipality, you have to have certain tax base to have a functioning municipality, and also with the schools. So I didn't want to do that. The one question I have for you is that, and you don't have to answer this, but it's something to think about. Since the current owners of the property have not been willing to discuss, and you're dealing with a prospective owner of the property, but that really hasn't even made a deal with the current owner yet, is the state willing to purchase the property in fee simple by itself?
Okay.
What that means is the state will purchase the property for preservation and then go out to bid and something like that.
We are currently bringing a few properties before our committee for fee purchase. Marv right now is not one of them.
I'm only asking about this farm because that's the one we're discussing, so, you know.
Right, no, we have not engaged the landowners or the realtor about it.
Get this done
I
first.
think it's one we could be interested in. When we purchase a farm in fee, every piece of that property has to be farmland preserved. There are no exception areas. There's, you know, it's a lot more stringent of a.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, I think I want to clarify for everybody. You don't have a current application for this property. The owner's not willing to enter farmland preservation, which means the state will not, potentially, most likely not contribute money. If we make the decision, because you don't have an application, you said you needed a.
No, I mean, I approached the township because there's an interested buyer, and we don't want to entertain an application if the township's not supportive of preserving.
We don't have an application. Here's my point I'm going to make. We don't have an application currently. If the township wants to preserve this farm, potentially the township needs to buy it for upwards of $2.7 million on our own.
No.
That's not what I'm proposing. But
No, that's not what you're proposing, but without.
we certainly could, yeah.
We could do that. I mean, I just want everybody to understand, like, we're talking a lot here
That's
about,
not, but there are other
we
options.
have possibilities of
Confusion
the
maker.
state buying it, or we don't have an application in front of us now to act on. It's not like the committee's
Some
going to
people are
act
not
on it
following.
to preserve this farm or not. There's nothing, there's not a.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean,
That's not what I'm
again,
hearing.
all my letter was, and I think why you're addressing it was because we have people calling about the farm and wanting to preserve
See what they
it.
do to us?
And I can't tell anyone we're willing to preserve it because the township has been hesitant to support farmland preservation. So until
Can
you
you,
know that
So
you're
we've been
supportive.
hesitant to support
yeah.
farmland preservation.
Well, Phil has said it.
I think we've been-
Phil has said it.
we've
Phil has said
really
it many times.
Preserved a lot over the last.
Phil has said it many
couple
I'm
of
just referring to the last farm we brought before you, right? So there's been
years. Very good
farms,
feeling the last.
and we've
Phil has
talked
said it
about having
every time in the
second
last-
meeting about strategic preservation.
Right.
I'm just trying to feel the interest that we're getting in our office.
Well, if there is farms that, and that's where I think prioritization of properties that the state and the county want to preserve does make a difference, because that's gonna basically, once we hit our goal, unless we change the master plan and are willing to preserve more properties at the expense of loss of potential rateables, that's where the balance has to come. We can't preserve, because again, according to the list that you sent us, it's 50% of the property in Franklin
The list
Township.
I sent to you was divided up into categories. I don't know how carefully you looked, right? There were county target farms on that list, there were the farms the municipality targeted, and there were the farms that the state targeted, and some of those overlapped. So in total, we may be talking about a lot. Our acreage for targeting farms, the states, is
The county may be
20 acres
interested
above
too.
what the
The county may be
municipality
interested
targeted,
too. He
mostly
couldn't
the
make it
same
tonight.
farms. So,
But I'm just saying
you're
there's also-
emphasizing something that's a little inaccurate. I
No,
think we are
no.
targeting about 1,400 acres in Franklin, which is about what the township has on its target.
But if the township has some targets, and the state has targets, and the county has targets, and each one of those targets is acted upon, that's where I think we came up with the numbers.
Okay,
So
but
that's
that's not what you said. You said the state's targeting 50% of
Well,
our
okay.
township.
preservation is targeting 50%, and I think that's where we have to basically balance that to see because once we hit our target, we have to actually see. because in my mind, if you hit 33 or 35% preservation, and Laura and I will discuss with you and the planner and Diane, the target farms and everything, that once we hit that, if there's a farm that comes that really is on the target list that somebody really wants, but we're already over the limit, once a farm is preserved for life. You can't do a land swap. And I think that's where we're trying to balance that aspect, because
This one is
we want to
246
preserve
acres.
contiguous farms, and this one does fit into that, one of those categories, stuff like that. But there's also other farms that are on that list that are
We didn't
not
wanna do
near
any of
the
them
other
yesterday.
farms that are preserved, that are basically higher in the priority list from the state and the county, that might bring us over that. That's all I'm just trying to say. And I don't want to belabor this because we don't have an application, we don't have a discussion.
Right, I just
And
came
I
to
just want to
listen
just,
to
you know, there have been some inaccuracies that the municipality is not willing to preserve farms.
You said
It
that
has to
last
be
time.
Smart preservation instead of basically like the Oprah effect. You get a preservation, you get a preservation, you get a preservation. It has to be smart
said that last
preservation
board meeting.
and smart development
Hours.
in certain areas. I think that's what we have to try and do. And we're not really getting any of the things about the soils, because I know Franklin has the best soils, and we were told about
In this
this
state.
from a national level. Franklin has the best soils, we had dinosaurs roaming Franklin, everything here is
Very
phenomenal,
funny.
the soils are great. But the problem is, unless the residents, current and future residents, are gonna be able to afford the taxes and the expenses that the municipality does incur with the municipality as well as the school. And I'm trying to also work to see if there will be some cost sharing throughout the life of that property
Are you working
to
on
the
this?
municipality to try and gain some more income
When did he start working?
for the municipality to cover some expenses. Because as income goes, income plateaus,
working on that?
expenses are always going up. You see that in your houses, you see that in your own budget. And if you don't have a growing tax base of rateables,
Filibuster.
it's, everything's falling to the preservation, to the current and future residents. We have to move on, I'm sorry about this, but we do have to move on to,
You guys impressed?
approval of the minutes.
You guys impressed?
I'll make